film are two very different worlds. So not getting a lot of input or help from her just because she didn't have that knowledge. And so making stuff up, like, I came up with that idea literally. I was watching some TV. Have always been into skating and like skateboarding, and I was watching something, and they were talking about in the 80s or the 90s editing a skate video that way, and I was like, oh, you can do that. And I was like, that's when I learned that you could edit stuff that way, was from some, I don't even remember who it was, but some pro skater literally saying, that's how we edited this video. And I'm like, damn, I can do that. I have that here in this house somehow, because we have an old camcorder that takes VHS tapes and this TV with a built-in VCR in it. So let's make something happen.
I still to this day watch behind-the-scenes featurettes just to like learn different ways that filmmakers are either doing lighting or some camera rig or stuff. And I was watching. And that's how I got into it as a kid too. It's especially with stunts. Like, I was obsessed with stunts when I was younger.
No surprise.
Yeah, well, and so that ended up with the getting hit by a car, falling down multiple stairs, being set on fire, etc. But I like
kicking ass in Germany everywhere. I get it.
Yeah, for sure. And so like the other day I was just watching behind the scenes on this zombie feature from Japan, and saw how they did their dolly system for in a train, because it was like, well, most of the dollies are way too wide for that, and the car that they built, they put the dolly system in the luggage rack up top, so they just used the luggage rack. It's brilliant. I'm going to steal that in something from now on. But like just seeing how the different lighting setups people will do, and it's insane the amount of. Because before I would literally set a recorder for the Discovery Channel when they would have like behind the scenes stuff, on a VCR, and now I can just go and find the actual cinematographer's blog from whatever, like from one of the SNL episodes that did Wes Anderson like horror movie, and he had everything. He told everything he did for the lighting setups, like what equipment was used, and it was just like that's great. Like young people today have an amazing opportunity out there. Because when I was in high school senior year, my editing card had no output. It had no output on. So I could record things and edit them, then do nothing with them. Because it's 56K modems, so you couldn't really like do anything. If I the old R2 Real Player, do you remember Real Player? Yeah. I could export to that and then put it somewhere, but it's today smaller than the GIFs we look at. So, but so I didn't have the export until 2 years into college, I think. So it was like I knew how to edit at that point. I've been subscribed to like Video Maker magazine, to learn everything from how to shoot with different lenses to change the perspective of the camera and all that, but couldn't actually produce things until college, and it was like, we're going to do a music video, we've got to have this thing to do it.
Man, you guys are so smart with all your different like, I rigged up this and I put this together to edit it. When you mentioned the class project that you did for Latin, it reminded me the like one class project, and I don't know what I got the grade on it, so when you said A, I was like, I don't know what I got. It was a religion project on the 10 Commandments, and so we did an SNL spoof of it, and so because I knew I didn't know how to edit and I didn't have the ability to edit, I just did which is what I do now, which is like I made a detailed shot list, and then we just filmed it at one in the order that we needed it to be, so that it was like we filmed it in the order and then brought it in, like hooked it up to the TV in the classroom and played the tape. Yeah. And it was like, that's it. We figured that out. So that's how I still do things to this day. Yeah. Like, well, now that I know how, or I have people that know how to do the editing together, I will organize the shots in a different way. But when that was the only thing I knew how to do, I'd be like, all right, step one.
You have to, there's still film like competitions for like 8mm where you shoot your story on that thing, you don't get to edit it, and whatever happens on it. They develop the film and show it like it is. So you're shooting a movie, and most of the time it's 8mm, so there's not soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
So it's a silent film you're making, shooting in camera, or editing in camera. And
I feel like Chadwick has one of those with a bunny in it.
No, I don't know. Maybe it is because it's got music in the background. That's one that he made when he was in I've seen the video with the bunny.
Yeah.
And it has this music in the background. I think it's his band. Mm-hmm. So it's it's on YouTube now. And he put his soundtrack as his punk band. Cool. But it didn't occur to me that it was an 8mm. He had to record it in that order. Oh, that makes it so much better now. I almost wish that things like that had an indicator on it. This is what you're about to say. Just so you know.
Every now and then you can find the little 8mm editing bays. They're literally 12 inches by 10 inches with just a small bulb and a projector screen, so you can go through it and do the actual cut and tape it together. Yeah.
Yeah, I sat and went through a decade ago. This girl I was dating's family had a whole bunch of 8mm, and I was helping them digitize it, and I was cutting out bad frames, and one of those, and then.
Oh man!
If you cut too short, that's weird. So the good editors I've known, they have that rhythm to them, you know, and when we were cutting actual film, it was great seeing them because they would watch it several times and they know where it needs to be. And then I would cut on my own stuff and then rewatch and be like, oh, it's too short. And then I have to slice in 3 more frames or whatever to get the timing right because it just didn't feel right, you know? Oh, it's weird. Yeah, but it's crazy how you can just watch a good editor figure out the tempo of that scene and get it perfect. And it's real cool.
Man, I think about some of the things I watch where I know they're digitally editing, and I'm like, oh man, that's really great. But really, it's just I got 16 screens in front of me, and I'm just pressing enter 3 times and using my mouse a little bit. It's that's not really as exciting as I wanted it to be.
It's still, I feel like there's still an aesthetic to it.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
still a skill. It's weird because it's one of those skills where it's now... almost everyone, even people outside of the entertainment industry, I think because of YouTube and blogs and things of that nature, are learning those skills to some degree. Mm-hmm. So it seems it's just everyone, kind of going back to skating. And digital has definitely revolutionized how skating has been documented. And one of my friends that I used to skate with would just film every time we were out. About 5 years ago, and so one day, just in his phone, oh, check this out, I'm working on this, and it was what we were just doing because I think I was filming for him, and he added Marvin Gaye to it and slowed part of it down in probably 3 minutes. Cool.
Yeah.
People go to school for this. Or did, I guess.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, well, I wonder if there's even a difference or if it's just innate talent. You know what I mean? Because, I was thinking about how, you, for instance, it's interesting to hear your story where it was you had some time away from it, you did science for a little while, and then you were no, I need to get back into this theater world. I need to do film and stuff like that. And you learned all the editing that we're talking about. But some people never think, oh, this is something I should do. And you see them take a class or do a little thing, and you're like, oh my God, you're Will Smith. Do you not know that? You need to be famous right now. And then they go, oh no, I'm going to go back to my job as a PR person for this hotel. And you're like, what? What? But then that's what happens, and then you see people who have gone through school and grad school and a bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh no, your stuff is not good. It's not. So sometimes I wonder if it's just sort of an innate ability, to do that. I think it's 6 of one, half of the other. It's like a performer versus somebody who can learn to be a performer. But yeah, with it at everyone's fingertips, I wonder what sort of new things will come out. Or, I don't know. Is there an oversaturation? There's too many questions.
Well,
my brain is full.
What I'm super excited for is motion capture suits are getting under $1,000 now, and virtual reality is under $1,000 now. And so,
for you to make, you mean?
Yeah, for people to, because the Unreal Engine, excuse me, allows for people to make videos through it, right? So, a kid who just has a motion capture suit could, and VR can basically record themselves doing all the animation, not have to know software really at all. Just be able to kind of clip it, like you would video edit some, because they've got smoothing and smoothing for animation, so it can go from one to the other in a nice way. And so people could be using all these free assets that everyone's making and these free game engines, and for less money than I paid for a video camera for college, creating these awesome machinima things.
Wow.
So yeah, it's great. It's great. And so,
well, between that and the fact that our phones are little movie studios, it's like you're saying, everybody can do it. It's like some schmo on the street is able to put together any type of video. Like when you mentioned the skateboarding, I was like, oh, you mean like the 7 guys that sit out front of the theater and do it on the stairs in front of the Mason building? Which
I had an old man day the other day. It was raining, and they use sex wax on the corners, and it's super slippery when there's rain on it. And I was like, these damn kids and the skateboards. And I almost fell downstairs.
Maybe not exactly an old man moment, but that ledge, those stairs are pretty famous, just outside of Austin, even in the skate community.
Really?
Yeah, and
it's on a hill, so it kind of makes sense too.
And a couple of years ago, I can't remember which company it was. Let's say it's Stance, because they're not going to hear this.
Our number one listeners.
Anyway, a sock company, because there's companies specifically for socks and skateboarding. They left a pair of socks there and took a picture, snapped it on their Instagram, and it was first come, first serve gets these sweet socks. And I think they must have been right behind me, because my friend messaged me, was like, hey, did you get those socks? And I was like, no, what socks? But the evidence of these socks, I walk across the street to where the 700 building is, and whatever dude got those socks took off his nasty-ass white socks and just threw them on the stairs over at the 700 Lavaca building. And I'm like, cool, dude. There's a trash can 2 feet from here.
Yeah, there's trash cans on every corner.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, you even have downtown public toilets now.
Where are the downtown public toilets?
Oh, they're down under the under bridge parking down near 6th and 7th and stuff. They move them around, but they're portable. They have an attendant there to make sure people aren't going in there and doing heroin or something.
Nobody knows when people are doing heroin in bathrooms. Believe me. I had a coworker who did heroin. You know who you are, and she would go in the bathroom, and we had no idea. We just thought she was taking a poop. We'd be like, "What is happening to her? Is she on break? I don't think so."
Well, she always burns, I don't know, maybe a candle or something in there to cover up the smell of the poop, so that's really nice for her. Is it just funny. A spoonful of heroin?
No, I mean, how do you... I don't actually... Listen, guys. I'm call me an old lady, because I don't know how heroin works.
All I know is from movies and TV.
All I got is what she showed me one day that I was like, do not show me. I don't want to see what you got. Please get it away from me. I don't want to be an accessory to your whatever. And she was like, look at this thing. I was like, don't look at it. But I don't know how she got it from that sort of like
a.
It was like a black tarry situation. I was like, how do you get
probably.
that in your body? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
No, I don't want to know.
Don't want to know.
It will not be my podcast that provides a tutorial to people for